तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति भूरिदा जनाः। प्रथम भगति, first bhakti, first step of the divine love, divine attainment, spiritual evolution, spiritual unfoldment begins with satsanga. Santanakara Sangha. Pratama Bhagati Santanakara Sangha. We saw how the satsanga gives the required qualification to enter into the secrets of God. Unimaginable. All saints say, we have been made pavana, we have been elevated to the state of absolute purity just by the company of the elevated souls. Sri Ramachandra is telling there is no other way. Sri Ramakrishna also says there is no other way other than the satsanga to show something beyond our limitations, that exists a proof, that exists is information, that exists a certainty and possibility of my attaining that, transcending the entire nature. All this and the qualification required to enter into. It is the only way, that's the only first step the all saints have been telling us. Pratama, the first starting. Pratama Bhagati Santanakara Sangha. Dvitiya, the second one, Dusari, Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. Katha Prasanga. Rati Mama, Rati, Rata, to be immersed in, to get lost. Ram, from the Ram Dhatu, Ramate, Rati. Getting engaged, getting slowly going deeper into, just like you are diving into an ocean and going into. And suppose, imagine you are a salt doll entering into the ocean. As you go, you are dissolving and getting expanded into the, like that. Rati is how you get oneness. Katha Prasanga. When you start reading, now first thing is you need a qualification to enter. Otherwise, if you read, it will be something like an information, something like a story. When you read the Leela of God, you don't feel attracted. You feel insipid. What is this? I could have witnessed some TV. I could have gone for a coffee. I could have roamed about in the world. I could have gone to see some beautiful scenic scenes in the nature. All these things. So, how to get that desire to see, the taste for seeing, taste. Sri Ramakrishna says, if you get taste in repeating the name of God, much of the spiritual evolution has been attained. So this qualification is given to you by the satsanga. Satsanga gives qualification to you to find a taste. Once you taste it, you will no more feel like going back into anything. it becomes so, world becomes insipid. First the spiritual things, God will be insipid because of the worldly attractions in us, worldly desires that are, why should we give up that worldly desires? Because it's a constant pain, constant suffering. The parampara, dukkha yonaya, whatever you seek in the world is the cause of your suffering and bondage. You want to come out of the suffering and bondage. So when you get taste in the divine, your bodily awareness, bodily existence, body consciousness, I am this body, this soul is start dissolving. I am spirit, I am spiritual. The more you hold on to God, more you love God, you feel that you are less of the body, you are more of the spirit, because God is spiritual existence, pure spiritual existence. The more you love God, you are more spirit. The more you hold on to this world, you are intensely body. We are made up of two aspects of our existence. One is spiritual, one is material. The bodily existence, body, the energy pranas, the senses, mind, intellect, all these belong to the nature and the material aspect of our existence, including mind and intellect. All these are Prakriti. Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Prana, Buddhi, Manas, Sharira, made up of Panchabhuta. All these are part of Prakriti, nature. This material existence of my being, there is the spiritual existence, the eternal, the ocean of bliss, peace, love, absolute. Love that we see in the world coming out of our own being is manifestation of the Atman. When it is focused on the world, simply drops of love come out. When it is universal, torrents come out, because the universal beings, all beings, unconditional love, when you see all beings together and your love is equally distributed, equanimity exists there, then that love is universal, because the God is present there. When the universality comes, it is God. When the individuality comes, it is human. And when I become attached to a certain things, I become animal. Animal nature, human nature, divine nature. When the love expands. So this expansion, the more you hold on to God, you will see that your physical being is entering into dormancy. It is not active, it is just lying there, and your spiritual existence is expressing. The Katha Prasanga, the Leela of the Lord, how Lord comes in the human form or any aspect of His manifestation, whether it is seen by others or not. You see in the life of saints, whether it is Kabir or Meera, Tulsidas, all saints of Maharashtra, Eknath Maharaj, Tukaram, and all these, you will see the, the intimacy with which they move and the actual visions they get of God. How intensely and how clearly they feel the presence, how clearly they see, visualize, they get the visions. How they got entering into Leela. The Leela of the Lord, Katha Prasanga, various aspects of Leela. First they enter, first they get the qualification from the other saints, the saint company, and then they get qualified. They get interested in the Lord's Katha Prasanga, Leela. They enter into the Leela. Krishna did like this, Krishna did like that, Rama did like this, Rama did like that. Some aspect which is their own nature attracts them. Uh, if they are pure love, which doesn't seek anything, they feel attracted towards Krishna. And if they're too strong in Satya and Dharma, they feel attracted towards Rama. So each aspect of manifestation is what material you are made up of. You have the nature, contemplative nature, the indrawn, not much paying attention to the external world, your own bliss, your own Atman. Then you will have attraction for Shiva. You are born of Shiva Amsha. So each one is born of a particular nature, and the nature attracts that particular aspect of God. So when you read that Katha Prasanga Leela, you are slowly dropping away your external being, which is a scaffolding for your spiritual existence. It is like a sheath for this world. These sheaths are their bodily existence. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, all these are various layers of my existence, supporting my existence in this world. I have to remain detached from this. To be spiritual being, that's my real, I am going back to my source of intense bliss, eternal life. By releasing myself, I will be there in the body, unattached to the body. Like sitting in a car, I will be sitting in this body. When it is possible, when I enter into Leela Kathana, Leela Prasanga of the Lord, His whole Leela, I participate. It's called Leela Dhyana. By reading alone, I will not be able to enter into it. I need little more depths. How do I enter? Little by little understanding. And what does the Leela do? Release me not only from my bodily existence, it releases me from the present, where I am there, where I am caught. I slowly separate from the present state of affairs around me, the present times in which I am living, present engagements of life, present duties, present relationships, all because I enter into a time when Lord was there playing in this world. I go to a era, a time, an age when Lord was playing here in this world. I am transported in time and space to another world of bliss and joy. So in Katha Prasanga, I get released from all this. I am what I am today with the body and atmosphere. I dwell in a world of divine. I live in a time of divine. I live in a atmosphere of divine, where love and love alone exists. You see, wherever Krishna went, or wherever Rama was there, it was a world of love, whether in the arms of Kausalya or Devaki or Yashoda, or in the forest Rama goes, the Rishi Munis, just his presence would make them melt into love and flow at his feet. So wherever he went, wherever. So the Krishna also, his life. There were occasions when the opposing forces, negativity was presented, and the Krishna we see and Rama we see, each avatara we see, these negative forces are being dissolved to merge in the positive forces. Suppose be it Kamsa or Ravana, when Krishna killed Kamsa or Rama killed Ravana, what was the effect? What was the end? They, as light, they enter into Rama, they enter into Krishna. So Kamsa was not destroyed. Kamsa was transformed into the pure spiritual energy which entered into Krishna himself. The one becomes, when one becomes many or two, there will be opposites. There is dharma and adharma, the positive and negative. When negative forces get more power and try to overtake or encroach the place occupied by the dharma, then adharma is to be absorbed back into the reality. The excessive forces that are not balancing the dharma, the adharma that has come into excessiveness is absorbed back. Avatara come to absorb back, not to destroy. It cannot be destroyed, nothing can be destroyed. It is manifestation of God. So it goes. Now we see the Leela of the thing. Only love exists. Only divine exists. Even if the negativity and negative forces turn into positive, and there is again love and harmony. There is love and perfection. There is love and wisdom. There is love and viveka. All this you see. You are dwelling in a world different. Katha prasanga. It brings intimacy in the heart. What a God, what a thing. Everything is shining in the spiritual existence. Where was the darkness in which I was living, thinking it to be light? I was living in darkness. What may be the other places of actual darknesses like Atala, Vitala, Sutala, where the people go when they demerit exceeds the meritorious acts of a person? What darkness could it be? What suffering could it be? What bondages could be there? And look at this world of spiritual existence in which now he feels, because the human is loving the divine, taking the shape and phases of divinity, but to become one with the divine, to be divine entirely, totally, it takes time. This Katha Prasanga is where slowly the identity develops, and even the animal nature has gone away totally in the Satsanga. The human nature, which is seeking the divine, the human nature also slowly is dissolving. The divine nature is manifesting. The love of God is awakening within the jiva, that is bringing intimacy with God. And imagine what kind of intimacy it is, not at the physical level. The intimacy with God happens at the spiritual level. Be spirit and Devo Bhutva Devam Yajit. Becoming divine, you love divine. So spiritual world is that where it makes you, spiritual world, spirituality is that which makes your divinity awaken within you. The God is pure divine. Divine is the absolute touching the relative and supporting the relative existence. My human existence is supported by the divine. This first layer of the absolute in the relative, or the last layer before we enter into the transcendental realm, is the divine. The divine percolates through the universe. Divine percolates through the human, all layers of existence, from the innermost core, one layer of existence, to the gross physical body, is pervaded by the divinity. But we don't recognize that divinity. The recognition has gone away. I am not able to recognize myself divine. I am not able to understand that I am divine. Because the nature, it is acquired nature, it is acquired momentum. Because of that momentum, I am not able to recognize. It is seeking something. Now, the seeking has gone in the world. It is seeking now divine. Seeking the world gone away, seeking the divine. But what am I? I am human. In between, I was seeking. The more I moved towards the world, my animal nature started coming out. Now, the more I seek God, my divine nature is going to emerge. In between is the human nature. Human nature is the common platform between the animal nature and the divine nature. They coexist in me. Divine nature coexists. They are tight compartments, the divine nature and animal nature. Yet there is the in between, the human nature. So now the animal nature has dropped away because of this satsanga. The human is there aspiring for God, and slowly the divinity starts manifesting. The more you hear about the katha, and more spiritual unfoldment is there, little by little unfoldment, the katha becomes something different. When we learn or read katha at the lower stages, it becomes interesting, of course, because you are not interested in the world, it becomes interesting. But to awaken the spirit in you and make you pure spirit and love spirit is entirely different. It is ecstatic love of God. The almost culminating phases of spiritual attainments. So you are moving from this phase into that katha prasanga. We are acquiring the katha prasanga. That prasanga, from satsanga, prasanga, the elevated state of I am entering into a sangha, prasanga, katha prasanga. Whenever God appears on this world, in this world, at a cosmic or individual level, for some purpose, then he leaves behind a Leela, a divine play to be contemplated upon by the jiva. Two things. One is the path to perfection and a support holding. You need a boat to go through or cross the river or ocean. You need a boat. The boat is the katha prasanga. You need the rowing also. You have to row the boats. So the rowing pans are the God's name, the japa, dhyana. All the spiritual practices are rowing. But you need a platform to stand upon in the ocean of samsara. So katha prasanga gives you that boat, a place where you can safely stand and move on. So katha prasanga is an important platform on which you are going to stand and move about. So the two aspects of sadhana you get, one is the avalambana on which, or a platform on which you are standing. The katha prasanga makes you expand and free yourself from all limitations. In world, in every way you are limited. Here you are released, you are free. You are free to express yourself. You are free to, because here your nature did not come out, your being did not come, your momentum, something driving you, something forcing you, like you are possessed by a ghost. All these kama, krodha, all these whatever forces was driving you in the world was keeping you imprisoned and driving you. Here, your divine nature is coming out. Reading the Leela of God is releasing all the forces that were working upon you, forcing upon you. And now you have got a way out, uh, and you are safely. The God, when He comes down to the earth, in human form especially, for the raising the human consciousness to higher levels, the Dharma Samsthapana, He leaves a Leela behind and a path to go. These two aspects, the spiritual practices that what you have to do. You see, Sri Ramakrishna gives us his Leela, apart from the Leela, the how in perfect harmony you will do, what type of spiritual practices you do, calling upon God, loving God, how each sadhana path He certifies, He gives validity to all those paths and removes the unwanted things, makes specific paths to realize God. Here also, in Katha Prasanga, you will slowly attain these two aspects. One, to a platforms to stand and various spiritual practices that you have to do to move forward. Staying is one thing, moving forward. Stable establishment for you to. So, Katha Prasanga gives you and makes you bloom. The blooming of heart is an important part in sadhana. Blooming of heart means you are entering into the spiritual world. There is spiritual awakening which makes you live in the same body and do all the duties of life being unattached. The spiritual awakening we call in Bhakti Yoga as the blooming of the heart. The constant reading of the Katha of the Lord makes the inner divinity manifest. The divinity manifestation, first sign of manifestation of divinity is a breakthrough going beyond the mind, mana, beyond the limitations of mind, the barrier of mind, and there is spiritual awakening. You recognize your spiritual existence. You recognize your spiritual existence. For the first time, you will understand what is spiritual, what is divine, by knowing what is this consciousness, Chaitanya. Chaitanic real appearance, existence, you experience. Till now, we infer, understand, I have a spiritual existence apart from my bodily existence. How do you infer? Every day, nature takes you away from the bodily existence, separates you from bodily existence, take you to sleep, different level of existence, and bring you back. Now we see it is a different way. We have got a breakthrough that I am spiritual experience. I myself being spiritual, we experience, clearly experience, and we are totally dissociated from the mental existence also. We Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya we cross and enter the Vijnanamaya. We come in direct experience. Till now, we could experience through the senses, mind and intellect, the objects of the world. I could understand myself being body in the waking state. Now I experience my spiritual existence independent of body. Katha Prasanga takes you to the beyond bodily level of existence by which you know yourself. You are not, the I shifts from bodily existence to your spiritual existence. You will not know what you are, but you know you are not body. This separation from the bodily existence is called Rati. Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. Getting dissolved in the, I become one with the Lord as if I am separating. That is, the spiritual existence is separated from the bodily existence. This is, you are finding oneness. The spirit alone can become one with the spirit. The individual spiritual existence has come into the force independent of bodily existence. This is called Rati, the spirit enjoying the spirit. But it is not bodily enjoying. Katha, there are two layers of experiencing. I take it as a story and enjoy. I participate in the Leela and enjoy. Now, Rati refers to the enjoyment at higher spiritual existence level. This Rama is using Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. Dusari, the second step in the bhakti is Rati Mama Katha Prasanga. This Rati is an important word Sri Ramachandra uses. Be spirit and enjoy spirit is Rati. Be human and enjoy story. It becomes a story. I'm enjoying a story. I'm enjoying participating in the Leela. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.